It's official. GDPR is now law of the land. And you're now subject to the vast web of regulations governing the gathering and use of personal data, and the heavy fines that can be levied if you don't follow the rules. When it comes to GDPR compliance, knowing where to start is easy. Go where the data is. Your contracts are loaded with names, addresses, emails, and other information governed by GDPR. But how do you know what personal information you have? How do you go about amending your existing contracts? And how do you maintain your compliance moving forward? At Exari, our contract management platform provides a 3-step process for getting you compliant and keeping you that way. Step 1 is understanding the personal data you currently have. You have a lot of contracts flowing around your organization, each one containing varying amounts of personal information. If those contracts live on company desktops and shared drives, it's impossible to know what information they contain and, consequently, whether you're in breach. With Exari's AI-powered data capture engine, you can quickly and comprehensively extract your GDPR-specific data from every one of your existing contracts. With your documents turned into data, you can now run reports to understand what personal information you have in your possession and which contracts include or don't include language that would mitigate your GDPR-related risk. Step 2 is repapering your contracts to ensure GDPR compliance. For instance, you may want to repaper a specific contract so that it no longer includes a particular piece of personal information. Exari's intuitive template-based contract creation wizard makes this process simple, ensuring that every new contract and amendment contain the necessary GDPR provisions. Meanwhile, workflows and e-signature capabilities streamline negotiations so you can get your affected contracts updated in a systemic, efficient way. And step 3 is managing your ongoing GDPR risk. After all your contracts are revised and fully compliant, you need a way to securely store them and maintain constant insight. With Exari, every contract is housed in a central repository, accessible only to authorized users and protected by Exari's robust security protocols. With all contract data centralized, you can run comprehensive reports and set up important reminders. For instance, you can be notified when you are mandated to expunge certain information from your system, making sure that you can meet your GDPR obligations without sacrificing resources. GDPR is complex, which means you need a platform powerful enough to handle compliance across your entire organization. Get compliant and stay that way with Exari.